Thanks for staying with us. So yesterday evening, the residents of Magodo Shangisha experienced the invasion of some persons who had attempted to mark some certain houses for demolition. And quite a number of the residents came out yesterday to restrain them from gaining entrance into the estate. This morning, our correspondent, Sarah, will be giving us an update on what's going on at Magodo Shangisha Phase 2. Good morning, Sarah. Are you there?
Well, I can hear you.
Yes. So, could you give us a status of what's going on right now and who is there and what's the police saying? Are there any state officials there? What are the updates and what exactly happened last night?
So, Maya, it's a bit, it's a confusing situation here, I tell you, especially for the residents here at Magodo Estate, which is a highbrow area here in Lagos. And so it's 2 days to Christmas, and you have people stranded and confused as to what's going to happen now. So yesterday afternoon, at about 2:30 p.m., you had some policemen and some youth come into the estate. Unmarked buildings, buildings saying that they're up for a possible demolition. And so the situation, of course, it's not a situation that is new to residents here, but the fact that they're not buildings, that's the new aspect of the need to see the situation that happened yesterday to this morning. And so what you see now is that the gate is still locked, so you cannot gain entry into the Magodo Estate, and you cannot go out. So anybody going to catch a flight or going anywhere important, or if you have business to this morning, you cannot do that. But one thing is, a lot of persons have been questioning the legality of the action that was carried out yesterday, that the policeman said they had to execute the court order that was given. And so I'm going to bring in somebody on. She's on the legal team. Her name is Lorraine Job Taylor. She's on the legal team and she's also resident there. It's good to have you join us on the program. But can you tell us exactly, you've been in court, you've been here in the proceedings, tell us what exactly that is and what the situation is.
Right. So we're trying to get some visuals, some live visuals, and also to see if we can speak to either the lawyer or the president of the Magodo residence, just to have an update on exactly what happened, because we understand, based on the reports that we have, is that there's a court order a Supreme Court order that was actually given to a certain family, and that gave them over 500 plots. But according to some angle of the story, the award wasn't specific in which area. So that the government had offered them a place in Ikorodu, but unfortunately the family rejected it and wanted within the estate. So those lands have been occupied, and right now, we saw that yesterday they came into the estate, they tried to take over and move into demolish. We just need an update from the government. It would be great to hear from the government to know what happened. It would be great to hear from the residents or some law authority to give us an update. I know Sarah is trying to get us somebody, but what are your... Let me come to Nima, since you are the legal expert amongst us. What are your thoughts on this?
Obviously, they're trying to execute a court order. I don't think that they will just move there without legal backing. The execution order is usually carried out with law enforcement agents, and what I know about land issues is that this is very resolvable. There's no do or die about it. The people are almost going to concede certain things and compromise certain things and agree with them, probably to rebuy, but outright demolition of well-developed places. They said they are not negotiating. If they sit down to discuss, this is resolvable. This is not a final anything, right, even though it's a Supreme Court order.
All right. Okay, I was just wondering why they got in there at night. Was that so that people would not be aware that they were coming in and then not have a situation?
Maybe so they won't be resisted. This is a very well-guarded estate. Yes. They require permits to enter. And if the estate knows they're coming, the CDA can resist, prevent them from executing. So maybe they had to sneak in. Now that they've gained access, just to establish that, we own. We've gotten another way. We're legally bound.
I came from a family where they sell lands like this, and then there's always court judgments year in, year out. And what I know that they do is that they come back to the table and they renegotiate with the people who are already occupying those areas. So it's either you have to pay more for it or you have to pay something, but outright demolition, I just think is wasteful. I think they need to have a conversation with probably the people who are living there already to say, this is the court judgment. How do you think we can proceed from here? So you don't scare people who have spent money building houses and living in it for years.
So for me, it just seems that our producers are not really interested in this story, because if they were, would have gotten more information. Either the Magodo presidency would be in talk with us, or we have the government. Sarah, are you there?
Of course, they're doing this in protest to what happened yesterday. And, you know, what happened yesterday was that a truck of police officers came into the Magodo Estate gate. They came in with some persons to identify some buildings and saying that they want to follow a court order that was given about 6 years ago. And so they came in and if from the estate gate, you see that there are inscriptions on some buildings marking it for a possible demolition. And of course, what the situation is like is that the police officers, of course, we saw some of them at the other estate gates. We see that some persons are here right now, of course, trying to see how they can resolve this. But let me bring on Mr. Bajo Oshinobi, is the chairman of Magodo Residents Association. Of course, going to be giving us a clearer picture as to how this played down. It's good to have you join us. Can you better explain to us what is the next line of action now? We know that this gate has been locked since midnight, since about 4 a.m. or thereabout. What's the next line of action now for you?
All we are waiting for the police that invaded us to leave the estate. Because if we don't leave the estate, we don't know what can happen. I need to inform the generality of Nigerians that they brought in, yesterday, the Adega people brought in a payloader, a caterpillar yesterday to demolish houses. So if we leave this place now, we don't know what will happen. Till the police are evacuated and we feel safe, we are not going to leave here. Even if it's for the next 100 years, we'll be here. Thank you very much.
Okay, another aspect to this is that there have been questions about how the police and some persons came into the estate to mark the buildings. Of course, the legality, which is why we're bringing in someone who is on the legal team, Ms. Morenike George Taylor. She's on the legal team, and of course, she's also a resident here. She's going to be talking to us about the legality of this. We understand that this is not the first time we see some persons come into the estate and harass people. Can you talk to us more about that?
Okay, so the moment that this issue started, we actually engaged legal counsel. We're working with Wemimo Ogunde, SAN and Co. And this matter of the writ of possession in respect of these properties is actually currently pending at the Court of Appeal as at today. In fact, the last time that police was trying to be used against this property, we actually have a pending motion for injunction in court with regard to that as well. So it's very shocking for me to have found out that yesterday police, dogs, all sorts of people came here and forcefully wrote on people's walls. When the residents asked, okay, give us the paper, give us the proof, something that you used as proof that you have the right to be here, they didn't give anything. If we look at the judgment that they are relying on, it's a judgment against Lagos State government. And the mandatory injunction they are relying on says that the Lagos State government should allot parcels of land to them. That allocation has not been made. Does that mean they can make it themselves?
So this is illegal?
This is illegal.
The act is illegal. So what's the next line of action?
For me, we are all pulling our ideas together, but we shall definitely be exploring the petitioning of the officers involved. Because if we do not have the order of court, if this matter is pending at the Court of Appeal, if there's a pending motion for injunction, they should not be supporting these kind of things to happen. We have to respect law and order in this country. Because there are people here with their families. My aunties are here, my mothers, my fathers. I'm also a resident here. Children, imagine the impact on our families, on our community, to be here today. And imagine them bringing bulldozers, no notice, people that were averted. Somebody will go out and come back and find out that their television and all their possessions have been destroyed. This is not the right way to handle it. This is not the right way to handle it at all.
Of course, Mariah, you just heard from her, and
have you
spoken?
We
also understand that, of course, this situation has been on since yesterday till now, and of course, we just got information now the Lagos State government will soon be issuing a statement, of course, concerning this. Hopefully, everybody, with that statement, you know, this action, of course, will be stayed. There was no action on this, and then we would have issues like this happening again anytime soon. Of course, we just see that some police officers are addressing residents, the association now, to see how they can, of course, settle this amicably, and which is what everybody, which is what we've been trying to see all the while.
All right, Sarah, can you hear me? Sarah, can you hear me? I think I'm having trouble hearing Sarah.
I can hear you.
Oh, great. So now, have you spoken to any of the police officers there to understand the order they have? And were they instructed by the Inspector General as being alleged? And what order do they have to come in with those demolition trucks to demolish buildings? Did you get that? Sarah, can you hear me?
Just can you please take your question again?
Please. I'm saying, have you spoken to any of the police officers there? Have you spoken to any of the police officers there to confirm what they have, what order they have to actually demolish? Because we're told, based on what the lawyer said, that they came with the police and thugs to demolish. So the police officers there, have you had a conversation with them on what they have?
We've not, of course, we've not gotten any police officers. Even while we try to take shots of some police officers, they warned us not to take shots of them at the other gate. And so this crop of police officers that you're seeing now just came in some minutes ago. So we don't know, we've not been able to get them to speak with us on camera. All we know is that they got some orders from the court, and their orders are coming from the Inspector General of Police. And so they're holding on to one part of the court judgment, which states that the defendant shall forthwith, I'm quoting now, allocates 549 plots to the plaintiff in the said Shangisha village scheme, in the Shangisha village aforesaid. So that's like what they are holding on to, and they are hoping that their lands will be reclaimed for them. Now, this situation has happened. This case has been on for about over 30 years now, and so that's what you see playing out. They've been going in and out of court, from the High Court to the Appeal Court, and then to the Supreme Court, and then you still have another case coming up sometime next in February. And so the case has been ongoing in courts at different courts of jurisdiction, and so but they're just hoping that the original owners, which is the Shangisha Land Association, would, of course, have some kind of settlement out of court with the Lagos State government. The residents in Magodo say they are not involved in that suit. So they're just hoping that the original owners will sort the issue out with the Lagos State government, and which is what everybody's hoping. And so they're hoping that when this is sorted, they can, of course, live comfortably in their own homes.
All right, so what's going on behind you right now? I see quite a lot of people being dispersed. What's going on? Do you know?
And so you see that some police officers, of course, of higher ranks than the ones that we saw earlier at the other gate, are here to address the residents. Hopefully we'll be getting to see, we're trying to see, of course, you know, this is a highbrow area. You have very important persons living in this estate. Magodo is a highbrow area, highly populated by personalities, high-profile personalities in Lagos, especially here on the mainland. And so you have, of course, a lot of persons who have missed their flights, some persons who had emergencies this morning, who had to call in, some persons who had to call into work that they cannot come to work this morning. So you have people with different cases, you know, and they're confused that this is happening on a day like this. It's a few days to Christmas. Some persons are trying to hustle some kind of money to see that they have a wonderful Christmas season. And so people are confused, they're stranded, and you see people trying to engage the association to open the gates, because the lockdown that you see was actually instituted by the association and not the police now, but they're trying to prevent the police and thugs from coming into the estate, because already, as at yesterday, some buildings have been marked for demolition already.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Thank you so much. We're going to leave you for now, and we'll come back to you. Maybe you can get us some residents to speak to later. Thank you very much. Right, ladies, let me come to you. I mean, one minute they're saying we have a Supreme Court judgment, another minute we're saying we have appeal court.
So maybe you know, there are several angles to a court action. sometimes there's a substantive court action, then there's several applications out of that action. So while the action is going on, somebody can try and get an injunction to stop certain acts from being taken or compel certain actions to be taken. And so you have judgments from this one. While that one is, the application has come through, there's appealing it, there's like several branches to it. Wow. So we cannot tell for a fact which one we're dealing with right now and why they're doing this. But I think that in the face of this for 30 years, you know, at some point they should have tried to sit down and have a mediation. If it is not Omonile against Omonile, you know, sometimes where, like my own area where Abuloshu people are suing 30 people for the areas that are, oh no. So where you have, this is residents and estates against government and, you know, Omonile.
So it's Omonile and the government. It's not really there. So these guys are already living there.
No, okay,
and
so
they're not part
the original owners of Shangisha
and government.
So by now, 30 years is too long for me. Yes. At some point, mediation should have happened. Somebody would have compromised certain this, okay, and let people move and live peacefully, because now the residents who have bought and developed, they don't have peace of mind.
They won't.
And what must come with land or property is peace of mind. For my clients, what I always deal with in any of the estates I'm buying is guarantee peace of mind. If you cannot, there will be future litigation against you for failing to do that. So these people are worried, and I don't think that this is this is necessary. The level we've gotten to now, they're locking themselves in. You know, I said they could have had to do that because, you know, or the other people had to come in at night because they knew they would be resisted. All this drama, totally avoidable.
I understand how painful it can be for a community to lose their land. You know, no matter how many years it is, what you believe is rightfully yours. It's painful, and you fight tooth and nail to get it. But I think this is the time that we need to apply empathy. So just assume that you were somewhere else and this sort of thing is happening to you. How would you want the owners, the original owners, so to speak, how do you want them to treat you? What sort of conversation would you like to have with them? Because right now, they are not seeing the Magodo residents. All they are saying is, our property, finally, we can now get justice, even if it's after 30 years. But if they calm down and see and understand that people are already beginning to live there, people have owned houses there for how many years that they've been going back and forth in this dispute.
They said that the government had compensated them with 500 plots in Ikorodu.
And they didn't.
So this is that place they want, because obviously the judgment wasn't clear on just say, give them 500. So it didn't say, but because of the original place, that's where they wanted.
But what I don't understand is how you get into a place like this with the thugs and police officers and the bulldozers without giving them notice of what you're about to do, notice of demolition. So we're not having, if they got the notice of demolition, probably we'll have a conversation or a gathering of these people talking about, look at the notices we've just received. But you come at night also. Were you planning to just demolish the places while they were sleeping? What was the plan?
Let me take this call from, okay, I'm told we have Mrs. Elizabeth on the call. Good morning, madam. Hello, madam, are you there? Hello, madam, are you there?
Hello?
Yes, you're live. Thank you for joining us on the show. I'm told that you're a resident in Magodo.
Yes, hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Yes, I'm told that you're a resident in Magodo Estate. Could you give...
Not Shangisha, from the sheriff.
Okay. So,
I'm a first-time caller.
welcome to the show. Go ahead. What do you know? What have you heard about this? What are your thoughts on this? Go ahead, madam. Hello?
Delayed.
Okay, we lost that call.
I just want to compliment you guys. I've been watching this show for a very long time. I just want to compliment Morayo, Ojajilu, and Miriam, and others. Compliments of the season.
Compliments to you too.
All right, Elizabeth. I hope we can even make you our winner. Because
yes, Elizabeth, we don't get calls today.
Yeah, because it's one of those tense days. So, Elizabeth, are you still there? Oh, I think we lost. I wanted her to be the winner. Oh, sugar. Okay, because we can get her number. Can we get her number? Hopefully we can call her back.
There's the issue of the value of what you're settling family with. So I can understand if they're saying Ikorodu. You know what the price of property is in Magodo now compared to Ikorodu. So the government will not just be giving them Ikorodu, where they will not have to go and be dealing with development from ground up.
Scratch.
So they should sort of find a way to settle them in town.
But some might argue that the reason why the Magodo is at this value is because somebody has built it to that level. So if you do build that level in the Ikorodu, you can also get that value in that kind of area. I mean, some might argue that the reason why is a highbrow area now is because certain people have moved into that area and built certain kinds of houses to give that place value.
And
also
where it's situated.
Yeah.
Ikorodu is far.
Yeah.
I mean, when we think of Ikorodu, it's away from everything else. So it's situated there. The sort of people that you have there, there's a reason most of them are government people. They're closer to the areas that they work. So it will be hard to get that. I know this is a very difficult situation and dicey situation. I really do not know how government is going to solve this. But one thing that they're doing wrong, really, is coming and knocking on these people's doors with bulldozers and police officers or whatever. Almost like it's almost a threat, in a threatening manner. You cannot go about it this way. And also, as we said, mediation. What form of mediation have you had? Also with the residents' association. You know, to even prepare people. And then when you're selling land in those areas, are people aware that there's a court judgment? And this is something that will likely to happen.
So who's supposed to be having this mediation? I think the government is sleeping on its duties. Yes.
We're waiting for them to speak anyway. They said they're going to give us an official statement. So maybe when we hear from the government, we have a very balanced conversation because we're only hearing right now from the Magodo Residents Association. It's been great to hear from the family who have the court in judgment. It's also great to hear from the government because these are the two elephants fighting. The Magodo residents who went to that and buy their land and the ones that the grass that are suffering right now. But let me take this call from Chris. Chris, are you there?
Yeah, my name is Grace. Good morning.
Oh, Grace, go ahead, please. You're live.
Yes, I actually want to. I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Yes, Moraya, Alima. I want to say you guys are doing a great job. Well done.
Thank you.
I want to contribute to the Magodo issue. It actually happened to my mom at Ikorodu. The Omonile, they denied ever selling such land. Those that have bought it to come and compensate them. So they had to come into agreement and pay a certain fee. So I hope those will come to that.
Right.
And let everything be resolved.
Wow.
All right, so thank you so much, Grace, for calling in. Let me go to the Magodo residents now. I'm told that the chairman is addressing the press. We'll see together clips from there.
And we, citizens, do our business with all our contribution. I can assure you that we are big contributors to the economy of Nigeria. Nobody can deny us that. Oh yes. With all our contribution, with all our humility, we have been invaded over the years. In my years as part of your ESCO, I think this is about the third or fourth invasion. Every time we explain to them that we have no business with you, it's you and Lagos State government, and they refuse to understand. So again, like they did early this year, they came in yesterday. This time, they were more organized. They have a lot of resources. So they came with over 100 policemen. Every policeman that came to this place had a gun, had an AK-47. So they were every policeman. So they were armed to the teeth. But I must say this, the policemen behaved properly so that we're not harassed, but they made sure that the people that they came with, they were able to do whatever they wanted, they have come to do. Unfortunately, what they come to do had no legal basis. Because when you want to take possession of a land, you are supposed to have legal documents. The bailiffs that came and Adega family, they did not show us any legal documents. But because of the presence of the police, we were handicapped. Because we are law-abiding citizens, we did not attack the police. We were very friendly with them. But things took a turn for the worse. Yesterday night, when they brought in a bulldozer. They brought in a bulldozer that was parked at our gate. And surprisingly, the Adega family called me that I should allow the bulldozer to come in. And I was like, if I allow that bulldozer to come in, then I'm ex-chairman of MRE. And I still enjoy serving you. So we refused. And around 11 o'clock, the police, because there were agitations, the head of the police moved the bulldozer out to CMD Road. That's where he slept overnight. And this morning, to our surprise, the bulldozer was back, positioned to enter our gates. That's why you called you guys out, because we were not going to allow, and we are not going to allow people to trample on our rights. When people come in here with bulldozer, with no legal documents, to take possession of what does not belong to them, in quotes now, then we are not going to allow it. We spoke with a lot of people all the way to Abuja.
All right, so I think we are, as I said, we've heard from the side of the Residents Association. The next step really is to hear from the government, exactly what the government steps are, and hopefully review what the court judgment is from the side of the family that are claiming the land, and then we can take it from there. But right now, obviously, what is clear is that there are better ways of going about these kinds of invasion. There are ways of having mediation properly but 30 years, as Nima has said earlier, is way too long for this mediation to have happened. Something should have been done, and it could be, we could look at this in different ways.